The manager race is heating up. Welcome back to Friday Night Pint Live. I mean, it's been a while. I can tell you that for free. I've just got back from Portugal. I've got some news from over there. But the manager race is heating up. Why has the player awards seemingly been cancelled? And much, much more. Dan, Friday Night Pint, mate. It's been a while.
Yeah, Pete, the people have been calling, the people have been asking, and we're back and listen. And what a time to come back, because there's a lot going on with this manager business. Oh, mate. And I've been very relaxed, and now I'm stressed at what I'm hearing.
It's that point of the season, though. Obviously, like, you know, David Moyes is looking like more and more likely that he's not going to carry on. So, you know, this is the stressful part of the season. You know, everything's up in the air. The season's pretty much done after Chelsea's win yesterday. We've got to beat Chelsea tomorrow, Sunday, sorry. But we'll be discussing that a bit later as well. So, yeah, this is a stressful time of the year. There's only 3 games left. And, yeah, it's going to be that sort of part of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, it's just... I had a bit of optimism and excitement, you know, new manager, new, you know, project and all of that sort of thing, and maybe the chance to see some exciting football. But the news that Lopetegui is closed, there's rumor that Steiten's flying out. Well, that's Clarence Hughes pointed out. Apparently Steiten is flying out to meet Lopetegui. That's worrying to me, because that is the opposite of what we want. Really, when it comes to style of football, what's the point? What is the point of going from Moyes to Lopetegui? I don't see a point.
I mean, there's all sorts of rumours today, Dan. I mean, good evening to everyone, by the way. Grab a drink, grab a pew, get involved in the comments. We'll be reading them. But I've seen, you know, rumours today that a lot of the backroom staff have, you know, even though some of them still don't know where they stand, and I don't think anybody at the moment knows where they stand, and they apparently there's still not a decision been made. We did hear a rumor, and I'm gonna say this very lightly, a rumor from someone last week who heard from a playing staff that Moyes may have signed a new contract. But that is very, very loose information, and you know, I wouldn't trust this.
Well,
the source. I wouldn't trust the person that told me, but I wouldn't trust the person that told him, as far as I can run. To be honest with you.
Yeah. To be fair, the person who told us looked like he had a couple.
Yeah, he looked like he had a couple, and the person that he said, the playing staff that he said he isn't going to play for West Ham again. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, so you know, there's all sorts of rumours going around. I mean, where do we start? Rumours today that De Zerbi could be leaving Brighton, could be, you know, the attacking style could attract West Ham. I mean, what are they looking for, Dan?
There doesn't seem to be, from the managers that are being linked and talked about, there doesn't seem to be a clear view of what they're looking for. I think Steiten has an idea of what he's looking for, but Moyes, obviously, Sullivan is going to be Sullivan. Sullivan looks at a manager that's out of contract in a Lopetegui, and that is going to appeal to him because he doesn't have to pay for the contract, and that's why Lopetegui is the front runner. Whereas Steiten obviously has a vision of how he likes to see football played, and that's why you're seeing Amarims and Fonseca's and De Zerbi's linked to West Ham, because that's probably what the angle he's trying to go in. So, but it's always going to come down to money with David Sullivan, and that's the problem.
The Amorim rumours, obviously, they've come and gone. Obviously, he's come over. You know, it seemed to be Noble and Steiden's first choice. You know, obviously, it was linked to Liverpool. That looks like it's gone to Slot now. So he sort of like talked himself out of a contract there. So yeah, let's go back to that stuff. The Amorim thing. He came over. Apparently, he wasn't too keen. I've been over in Portugal this week, funny enough, and I've been speaking to a couple of Sporting Lisbon fans, and they seem to think that he sort of had to go back with his tail between his legs to Sporting and sort of apologise to everyone that he's sort of like had his head turned. and that it could be a potentially that he's not welcome back there, so he could have to leave, and he could, our attentions could be turned back to him. I mean, that's just what I'm hearing. So, if that was said, the only problem I think being that would be the compensation that they would, apparently the compensation that is being demanded for him is
12.8 million, apparently.
12.8 million. Yeah, I mean, in today's money, it's not a lot, but
No.
For Sullivan, yeah.
I think he wants high wages as well, and this is the thing. I think from what the stories were is he's come over, flown over for an interview for West Ham. I think he's tried to leverage that against Liverpool for a better deal. Liverpool said, no, we're not interested in paying them wages still. Went and got Arne Slot. And like you said, Amarim's had to go and back with his tail in between his legs and apologize because he overplayed his hand. And now, like you said, it could be untenable. Apparently, Steidton still likes Amarim. Apparently, Sullivan likes Amarim, but he doesn't like the release clause. And that's what it comes down to, is if he can be convinced to pay that release clause and pay the wages that Amarim wants. But it's looking unlikely at this point.
I mean, look, it's all up in the air. It's all up in the air. Let's have a look at Miss Smith. I can't even say his name. Lopetegui, is that his name?
Lopetegui, yeah.
Right. Good enough for Real Madrid and Spain, but all the Muppets on social media know best. He's a triangle-obsessed, possession-based manager, but the Lemons are already out in force. I mean, look, Real Madrid and Spain, yes, I understand. He was sacked by Wolves and hasn't had a job since. I mean, the Premier League is a different animal, man. You know what I mean? Like, lots of people can go in and manage Real Madrid and Spain and everything else, and I do understand what you're saying there. But
he wasn't sacked from Wolves for underperforming. He basically fell out with the ownership.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a job since then.
No, he hasn't. But
this is what I'm saying. He hasn't. He's out of work for a reason.
But this is the thing about Lopetegui, right? And yeah, he's possession based manager. This is my problem. Possession based does not automatically mean attractive football, right? The type of possession based that Lopetegui plays is passing it round the back, slow build up, patience, waiting for openings. What is the difference between what we're going for, seeing slow football, boring? It's going to be boring. Pellegrini liked to play possession-based football, and it was fucking boring. I don't care about possession. Do you know what I care about? Is trying to get the football into the goal as quickly as possible. Forward passes. Yeah, quick 1-2 touch. None of this pedantic, sideways, backward, or pedestrian passing. I don't care that he's at Real Madrid. If you're not going to play a football that entertains or excites me, I don't want you. I don't care who you are and who you've managed. It's what's the point? Otherwise, we might as well just go get a fucking Pellegrini back. People don't want Mourinho for a reason.
I think with everything, and I think this is sort of the basis of what we're going to be battling in the summer. Is it comes down to two people. Obviously, I think Noble's having a bit of a say in the matter, but it comes down to two people. It comes down to a sort of a battle of wits between Steidton, who it seems to me has a plan in place, and Sullivan, who will always have the final say on everything. What we do know about Sullivan is that he likes the price. He likes value for money. He likes a big name, but he also don't like to pay through the nose for it. Last time he did that, he had his fingers burnt with Pellegrini, which I think Dom's turned around and said, let's have a look. Miss Smith, Pellegrini managed City and Real Madrid. Look how that worked out. This is why Sullivan has gone for him. Lazy appointment. Listen, I think if Sullivan's got any, I mean, I don't think he's got a future at this club anyway. But if Sullivan's got any sort of like sense, he'll just let the project that Steidton's, got and obviously got in mind, play out. We've seen the accounts. There's a lot of money in the accounts. There's, we're in good stead with the, with the Declan sale, the money we spent, and the money that's going out. We've got a bit of money. We've got a bit of money to spend. Obviously, Paquetá's got to be going, which is going to command about £85 million. There's a bit of a rebuild to do here. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to, you want to give that money to David Moyes, who, let's be honest, I mean, as much as I do appreciate what David Moyes has done, I'm looking around the squad at the moment, and I've seen us, our season fall apart through lack of appointment, through lack of player appointments. He's left our squad very thin. He's left it very, unbalanced, in my opinion. We've got a great starting 11 at times. There's still holes in it. But as soon as you get past that, it's very thin. The likes of Danny Ings doesn't fancy it. Maxwell Cornet doesn't fancy it. And as someone just said there, £17 million we paid for Maxwell Cornet, £12 million to get a manager that could be, the basis of what football you're playing and what competitions you're playing in for the future is peanuts.
Yeah. But if he's the man, and like I say, he's got a track record of improving teams quickly. So he has that pedigree in Portugal. So look, if Steidten, you got to back Steidten, you've brought him in. If he wants him, just slap the money down, and then we'll try and build from there. But if it's about going for managers that are out of contracts, there has to be better options than Lopetegui. You got Hansi Flick, former Bayern Munich and Germany manager, plays great football, plays very
who's walking.
Yeah, go for these options, right? Don't go for another defensive manager. If Moyes played great football, there wouldn't be as many people wanting him out because he hasn't done a terrible job. I mean, we're in terrible form at the moment, but the football is the big point of why fans are just discontent. And you're just going to go get another manager that bores us to tears. What is the point of that? So apparently Sullivan, according to, I see X said, he is wary of the fan backlash around Lopetegui, that he is taking that on board. So hopefully he takes that into consideration.
See, if that is true, which I take all of this with a pinch of salt, it makes me think that Sullivan is picking the manager, which I'm sorry, mate. Listen, I like David Moyes, but apparently it was David Gold that wanted to keep David Moyes last time. Listen, David Moyes has not done a bad job, and I will say that he hasn't not done a bad job at all. But when you look at the balance of it, yes, we won a trophy. It was brilliant, and ask Aston Villa, it's not an easy trophy. It's not easy to win. You know what I mean? And that Farmers League trophy that everyone seems to think everyone's going to walk all over, it has its sticky points. You have to win it. You have to win it.
Premier League teams have been in it, and we're the only ones to have won it. Spurs, Leicester, Villa, and West Ham.
Yeah, so they're all complaining about the competition now, but that's you get what you get. But he has not done a bad job, but he did not want to keep David Sullivan on. And it's always because of. I don't think they should listen. I do think they should consider fans. I really do. But should they have the final say? You have to go with. If he's going on about things like, he's aware of the fan backlash, blah 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 blah, then they haven't got a plan in place. This is just get this geezer in and see what he can do. We want to, and this is the next part of what we want, as a project. Otherwise, what's the point in changing? You want to have a plan in place. You want to know where you're going, the players that are going to fit that plan, have a whole, transfer strategy around it. The people that can attract that sort of play around it, the people talking to the people that are attracted to that sort of football around it. You want to have a plan in play. It just seems to be like, well, just go and get him. See, this is what I don't like about, the Sullivan era. It always seems to be scattergun. It always seems to be like fucking shoot as many pellets out, whatever we hit. We hit, and then we'll go from there.
He's going to do the same thing, and apparently, part of the attraction to Lopetegui is his Premier League experience. But someone's pointed out there, Sarri is now available. He's left Lazio in March. So why not go and get Sarri? If you want Premier League experience, go get Sarri. I would even take Company. I think he's a wrong fit for Burnley. I would take Company over Lopetegui. So there are Premier League experienced managers that play good football you can get. But like I said, Sarri's out of contract. Why not go get him? Good manager.
This is why I think, like, when you come down to it, I think this is a year too late. You know, and I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, the same people." The same people weren't out of work. Yeah, but there was people available for work. You look at what Aston Villa manager's done. Look,
Palace. The Palace manager. He's played good football and transformed them.
He's transformed them. You look at what Emery's done at Aston Villa. Absolutely, turn them on their head. Semi-finalists. Look, I know they got beat the other night. Semi-finalists, but now a shoe-in for the Champions League next season. Through a league placing. There were people. And it was more of an attractive. You're looking at the league now. Unless something drastic happens in the next 3 games, we're not going to be playing in Europe next year. We've just gone out in the quarterfinals to a very good side who won their semi-final yesterday. Congratulations to them. But first leg at least. But at the end of the day, it's a very I don't know. It's not as an attractive job next season.
No, it's going to need, like I said, a massive rebuild. And how much money is the manager even going to get? So,
right, let's have a little vote here, right? Who would you have, Dan? Who would you have? All the manager appointments available. Who would your first choice be?
I would actually say Paulo Fonseca. I would go. I think Fonseca.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get some comments in. And by June, we will get Gary O'Neill. John, I'm not going to joke around, mate. That is one of my first choices. I'm going to be honest.
We're going for Wolves managers. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Gary O'Neill. I think Gary O'Neill's a very good manager. Done a great job with Bournemouth. Done a fantastic job with Wolves. Let's be honest, mate. Bournemouth and Wolves, for the job that he's done there, could both catch us by the end of the season. We've got Chelsea coming up, an informed Chelsea. Fucking got to be the only time in the whole of the season that they've been in form and had a bit of consistency about them. And we've got to play them next. And Manchester City, they're 2 very tough games. And Luton, who are scrapping for their life, sandwich in between. X said they will speak to him, Amorim, again as his Tim and Noble's first choice. Yeah, I like him. I like the guy. I think there could be something on there. From what I could, gathered from some of the sporting fans over in Portugal, him coming back and sort of apologising hasn't gone down too well. So he could leave him with no choice. But is that someone that you want to base a job on? Base your whole philosophy around someone that tried to get a better deal out of a bigger club and has fallen on his sword with us. I don't know. It's I don't know. Football's football. Imagine listening to an agent that has only money as an interest rather than Noble and Stuyvesant, who are employed by a club, experts in the field that have the best interest for the club at heart. Yeah, and that's one of Sullivan's problems.
That's it. Yeah, because apparently Lopetegui is also recommended by one of the favoured agents that Sullivan likes to work with. He's also been recommended by him, so that's another thing.
Lopetegui is good enough for Real Madrid in Spain. We've said this on social media, and we read this one by Dom. Not being funny, but we spent £17 million on Cornet and hardly using, so what's £12 million release clause? Brian P said he walked from Wolves. Yes, he did. He did walk from Wolves. Yeah, you are right. Lopetegui is a Spanish Moyes. Fair play. If there's no focus on a type of manager, the club wants it. It sounds like we're going to be a long, drawn-out affair. Yeah, this is the thing, man. This is where we need. As I said before, under the Sullivan era, it's been the same. It seems like we scattergun an approach, and whatever sticks, we go with that sort of that path. Which we should be past that by now. We should be past that. We want to progress as a club. we have to be past that. We have to have, targets, ways to get targets, and signings that fit around that target all in place before we even do anything. Otherwise you're just going to be like making up the list as you go along, which we have done year after year after year. What's wrong with Gary O'Neill? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with Gary O'Neill, not in my eyes. $5 super
But he's
chat.
in a job. We'd have to pay to get him out of his contract. That's
yeah, which is something that obviously he doesn't want to do. Edward Turner, officially 1 more year until I complete my masters. Well done, Ed. Very well done. Right. Been a great day. Now we just need to complete the double over Chelsea. And I'm not religious, man. This is going to be a Moyes Mark II appointment, for fuck's sake. The way it's going, this stinks of something where we go for all of these big names. The 1st of June comes along, everyone renews their season tickets, and we end up with some down and out manager that no one. It's going to be like Steve Cooper or something. If Sullivan is to be what's the word? If history is to repeat itself. Kudos is going too, if you believe what I've read. I don't believe what I've read. I'll be honest, I don't believe what I've read.
Well, I don't know if that is talking about the release clause, because if it hasn't been confirmed if there's a release clause, and if it is, it don't come into activation until summer 2025 anyway. So he's not going based on a release.
I don't think he'll be getting this year. Just put it that way. Gary O'Neill is a West Ham man. I think would fit well. Yeah, I agree. It looks like he's a gooner. So I think he would fit well. Great job, lads. Fantastic channel, says John Carr. Thank you very much, mate. $1.99. Very well appreciated. Would we want an attractive style but fighting relegation? Now, I don't understand where all this comes from. I do not understand where all this comes from. Like, what? Why? But fighting relegation or defensive, boring football and mid-table each year. That's like saying, do you want £1 million but lose your leg?
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's
why does and I've had I've been on air with people like fucking what's his face? Dan, remind me. I went on TalkSport with.
What's his from Jeff? What's his name? Jeff Stelling.
Who said the same thing? Like, what do you want to play? An attractive style of football and lose? Well, who the fuck said we're going to lose? Why does it have to be excluded? I don't understand where you think like does Pep play an attractive style of football and lose? No, he plays an attractive style of football and win. Do Arsenal play an attractive style of football and lose? No, they play an attractive style of football and win. I don't understand where this fucking idea is that if you play an attractive style of football, we're going to lose. Well, who the fuck says we're going to lose?
Yeah. We play defensive football and have one of the worst defensive records in the league. Yeah, Everton play defensive football when they're battling relegation. Like, it's not about defensive or attractive to what you're successful. It's how your club is structured and the signings that you make and how well you'll run of how you're going to be successful. It's not about defensive or if you're defensive, you're safe. If you're attractive, you're relegated. Battling. It's not like that.
Let me finish his comment. Would you want an attractive style but fighting relegation, or defensive, boring football and mid-table each year? Neither of them sounds attractive to me. I'm going to be honest with you, because that is what we've had with different management. So what do we want? A different approach, a different style, with a different outcome. That's what I would want. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking of. Nick Bayliss says if we're to progress, we need a manager like Tuchel. I'm not a big fan of Tuchel. I'm gonna be honest. Steve WHU Bell says if we got Sarri, Don would have a field day.
Yeah, he's Dom's catchphrase. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't. What do you think? Like, as I said before, get your names in. Who would you like to replace him? And get him in before I'll star him before.
Someone said, few people said Iraola. Apparently, he's got 1 year left at Bournemouth. He's got them up the table. They're not far behind us. We're in danger of finishing below Bournemouth, and he plays good football, and they've got some good results.
Yeah, we'll end up with Southgate. Leaves the England. I mean, this is the Southgate thing. This is the real thing that really gets up my nose, because the way England are with, although they've got a better squad than us, the way England are and the way Southgate approaches games is very much like David Moyes. It's safe, yes, but there are times when you need to. Lee Barron says traditionally you flirt with relegation every few years. Yes, mate, we do. Yeah, traditionally we do, but you have to break tradition at some point. But this is what pisses me off, right? So we've got people like Flex, who I work with quite often, Abby Summers, yeah, Matisse over at the Chelsea channel, who turn around and go, they look at me, airing my opinion on David Moyes, and they turn around and go, "What do you want? What do you want, man? Like, traditionally you don't win nothing. You've won one or two things in your whole life. You are what you are. You've won something now. You've won a little something, or you got to a little final. What do you want? Right? You're West Ham. What do you want? Right now, these same people, when it comes to the England job, yeah, they say that the same about Southgate. He needs to go. Yeah, he's done a good job. He's got us. He's progressed us. He's got us as far as we can go. But we're never going to win anything with him. We play boring football. The attack should be more, focused on. He plays defensive. He picks exactly the same arguments that we have with David Moyes. They have with England, but they can't see where I come from. But they're saying the same things with England.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same arguments. Exactly the same.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I get the same. I get the same. My boy LB there is in the chat, Man City fan. He says the same thing about Southgate, but he says to me, "What do you want, man?
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want? You ain't won nothing. Yes, nor in England since '66.
No,
Jesus got us to a final, a semi-final.
Man, football is about. I know it's about winning things, but it's also about enjoyment. There's a lot of 90 minutes that you add up in your life, spending at the game or watching it on telly, just spending all that time just bored and not enjoying it. What's the point? So, Moyes done well to a point, I think, and now it's time you've got to move on sometimes. You can't stay here forever, can he, Moyes? He's not going to fucking die in the manager's job, 90 years old or whatever. Like, we're going to have to progress at some point. And I think now's the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. We ain't got long left, so we're going to go through this a little bit. Take some more comments, Dan, if you can. There's rumours today, and I don't know whether anyone can shed any light on this in the chat, that the player awards have been scrapped. I mean, I haven't heard anything about Hammer of the Year. I haven't heard anything about goalie, all of these sort of like things that they like to do. But apparently the player awards that they usually have a big swanky hotel, fucking big con, if you ask me, but they've been scrapped again, apparently. So does anybody know why? Any ideas why they may have been scrapped, Dan?
I think it's probably to do with the feeling behind the scenes with Moyes. Moyes, I think, his nose has been put out of joint through the club, looking at managers behind his back. Apparently, he's had a bit of a falling out with Steidten over that because he feels a bit betrayed. Those are the rumours. And I feel like, when you're sitting there, you've got a lot of these players are out of contract. You've got a manager that feels a bit betrayed, and we're looking for a new manager. I think that could be a reason. That's just me speculating. So yeah, anyone else has got any insight, let us know. But yeah,
Stevie Garner says West Ham players out. West Ham out tonight. Apparently, the players, they fucking better not be. 2 days.
They was out last night. No, they was out. I thought they was out last night. For like a player thing. A little. What did they call it? Like a team bonding. That's what they call it. Team bonding thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably Walnut said they're having it at a travel lodge now, Bird. Yeah, that'd be about right. Prices have gone up. Maybe, yeah. That may be.
Yeah, reason, I've never gave a shit about them player. I've never gone. I've never intended to go to the player awards. So yeah,
there we go. Brian P says Hammer of the Year and Goal of the Year nominations were posted on West Ham social this week. So right, let's do our own one. Right. So who would you pick as Hammer of the Year?
Hammer of the Year. Oh, that is a tough one. I would go with Areola or
Good choice.
Bowen. I'm going to go. It's tough. It's on my head. There's Kudus, there's Bowen or Areola. Or Emerson. Emerson's a shout. I might have to go Emerson, you know.
Lots of shouts for Bowen. Obviously, there's lots of shouts for Bowen. I would
Bowen
go with,
because he's got the 20 goals, isn't he? Like
I would go with Emerson.
Yeah,
I would go with Emerson. Emerson or Alvarez. I think
Alvarez is a shout. I think I will go with Bowen just because of like what he's done. How many years have we cried out for a 15 to 20 goal a season player, right? And I remember Andy Carroll hilariously saying, "Don't worry, lads, I'm still your 15 to 20 goal a season man." And I think he got 5 that year. But yeah, it was so for Bowen to finally be the first player to do that or he's on the verge of breaking Di Canio's record in the Premier League or something. That's massive, and I think that deserves Hammer of the Year achievement like that. But it's good that we've had a few players worthy.
Loads of Bowens. Cornet, says someone, which is a good shout. Calvin Phillips.
How big could take fucking Phillips back at Man City?
Of our Hammer of the Year, I think Calvin Phillips would win my all-time award, and I mean that with greatest respect. I'm sure Calvin's a good lad, but fuck me, has he had some fucking poor impact on this side since he's come in?
He's got to win
right.
Worst Hammer of the Century award. I give him.
Maybe not even his own fault. Maybe not even his own fault.
I'm sorry, Nicky. The mentality is all fucking wrong. Him going around. What was the game? Was it the Palace game where we got battered? And he's on the pitch laughing and joking with the Palace players, and he's liking their fucking things on social media. Nah, man. I've not got no love for Calvin.
Apparently,
Phillips,
Ipswich bound, which just shows you where his career can.
He'll need to take a massive wage cut.
What about goal of the year?
Oh fuck, goal of the year. Fuck, what banger? We've done a lot of set pieces, a lot of tackles.
You got to go with it. You got to go with that.
Kudus. No, what was it? The Kudus when he was it in Europe? He ran through everyone.
Freiburg, yeah. I'll say that one. But I'll tell you what, that you know the goal against Wolves for Ward-Prowse has got to be up there.
Did he mean it?
Yeah, of course he meant it. Of course he meant it. Someone said Emerson versus Freiburg. Yeah, that was a banger.
Yes, that same game, wasn't it?
I would go with a Kudus goal. I think.
That would.
Premier League. I think it's got to be Ward-Prowse. But yeah, Calvin Phillips bench warmer of the year. I wouldn't even have him warming my bench, mate.
Yeah, I think Cornet's probably been the bench warmer of the year. To be fair, I think he's. I'd give that to Cornet. Poor bastard. Signing it. What about? I don't know what other. No, that's usually our one. What other categories do they have? Young Player of the Year, didn't they?
Young Player of the Year.
Hammer of the Year.
I'll be honest, we haven't seen a lot, have we, this year?
No.
We haven't seen a lot.
Yeah. We haven't had a lot of youngsters play, have we? That's a tough one.
Young Hammer of the Year. I can't think of.
Always has barely played any.
George Earthy's 10 minutes before he went off with concussion.
Oh, yeah.
Were decent, but I can't think of anyone.
Give it to Earthy. Yeah, just give it to Earthy.
Do you know what? A good person to ask would be Dave. I'll get him on next week. Dave would know.
Save of the season. That's a tough because Areola's pulled off some incredible saves. Didn't he? He made like a double save.
Do you know what? Scrap it, right? Let's wait till next week or the week after, and we'll have a full show on this. We'll go through everything.
Yeah. Because listen, the best goal of the season could be yet to come. Could come against Chelsea this Sunday.
Exactly that.
Better not come against Man City. I don't care. West
right.
Ham.
Let's have a look at this Chelsea game then before we sort of start sliding off. I said it at the beginning of the show. Probably the only time in the whole of their fucking season that they've been in form.
Yeah, it's a big result against Spurs at home. And look, Cole Palmer, they got battered against Arsenal, but their Cole Palmer was missing. He's been doing absolute bits for them, and Gallagher's been playing decent. So maybe things are starting to tick, but they're unpredictable, Chelsea. So you never know. And the big
Apparently,
thing for
before,
me,
apparently, right before they came in for him, Chelsea, he was on his way to us. Cole Palmer.
well, yeah, it was. We've been heavily linked with him for years. That what a signing that would have been if we could have pulled that off. The bloody Man City mates letting us down there, not selling him to us. But I'm glad we didn't get that Doku because he is shit, mate. Remember, we nearly got him. He is, so that is a bit of a rare L for Pep. But yeah, I think the big thing for me is they've played on a Thursday night. We've had a full week's rest. People were making excuses against Palace. Oh, it's because we gave it all against not Leipzig, Leverkusen. So we should be hungrier. We should be fitter. We should be more energized, more up for it. I want to see us really use that extra sort of rest that we've had and be first at every ball on that pitch. No excuses.
I mean, what's the team looking like at the moment? I mean, is there anyone back? I mean, we've been playing obviously Ogbonna and Zuma at the back, which is fucking shocking when you think about Cole Palmer going up against them two. He'll rip them two to pieces.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm not. I haven't heard anything about our defense. Otherwise, I'd expect the same lineup as we saw against Liverpool with Souček and Alvarez in the middle. Do you know what the weird thing is? I really grew to like Paqueta on the left. I think he really built up a good understanding with Emerson, but he's obviously been moved and Kudus has been put on the left, and it doesn't seem to be working as much. Yeah, that's the thing. Team wise, I think it'll be similar to Liverpool, and less there's any sort of change, in terms of Aguerd or Mavropanos coming back. I don't know what their returns are like. People are going, what are you talking about? Doku ain't shit. Well, I'm sorry, he's been shit at Manchester. Every time I see him come on, he's all pace and no end product. So that's my
the only positive I would take from the Chelsea game, and what I would say is that I think I felt at times last week against Liverpool we were poor defensively. I think we rode our luck a little bit, but attacking wise, Chelsea are there to be got at. Defensively they're not great. Chelsea at all. They're a bit at 6s and 7s at time. If we go, I'm not saying like go there and attack them, but if we have a go, if we even have a little go, their defense could crumble under our pressure.
Are you slightly concerned about with this report that Moyes feels betrayed and he's a bit put out by the meeting of managers behind his back, that's going to have an impact of his motivation going into this game, and it feels like
I think, yeah, I do. I do. I think Moyes is he'll approach it the way he was going to approach it either way. I don't think he's a petty man. Hopefully he's not anyway. And I don't think he'd want to leave with a sour taste. Although there are obviously times this season when the fans' voice have been against him. Vocally in stadiums. Moyes out. You're losing your job in the morning and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's going to be parts of him that feel like, I think, just because of the type of manager he is and the man he is, that sort of thinks, well, what the fuck have I done wrong? Because that's the sort of person he is. He doesn't really understand. He's, he has done a good job, but that you've got to start to admit when it's time to start winding it down and let someone else progress the job that you've done. Otherwise, you're in danger of just going backwards. But it's down to the players. I think it's the players. Some of their attitudes have been poor recently, and I think that's become
on the beach.
Yeah, like Lucas Paquetá has been fantastic for the past sort of year. Since the latter end of last season, sort of like wavered. Kudus has struggled recently a little bit. I think he's got some stuff going on. Bowen's just coming back. Antonio's, picking up his form, but Antonio is 6 of one, half a dozen the others. He could be fucking unplayable one day, and the next day could be fucking, unmissable. But yeah, it depends. It depends. It depends. I would be very tempted if I was Moyes to leave Qatar out on this one. I really would, because he's checked out. He's been checked out for the past. So since them rumours came along about the Man City thing that it's been agreed and all that. Listen, that Man City deal was agreed last year. No doubt about it. That Man City deal, that was already a done deal. It was just a case of like, don't worry about what goes on with this betting thing. They've got their own shit going on. They've got their own shit going on. Once next year comes, we'll come and pick you up again. That was it. It was already. So he had the first half of the season where it was he was just mustard. Since that sort of rumors come around, that it's, I just don't think he's bothered anymore. I really don't. I don't think he's bothered anymore, which is fucking sad when I think about it. It's fucking sad because he's a great player. Is he going to be missed? Of course, he's going to be missed, but I don't think he's irreplaceable, because
regardless, he deserves to be dropped. I think regardless.
I think so. Yeah.
Alone. So yeah, I would drop him. Get Ward-Prowse up in there in the 10, not on the wing. And go from there. That's what I would do. And fingers crossed. Like, look, I don't think we've got anything to play for in terms of Europe. I think Europe is done, but at least just finish above Chelsea. I think it'd be embarrassment to finish below Chelsea this season. If we could just finish above them, we get 8th. I'll just take that.
I wouldn't say an embarrassment. I mean, they have spent £1 billion.
Yeah, but £1 billion badly.
It's badly. Yeah, but they have still got some good players. They will come.
And from where we were, Nicky, to where they were in the season, the point we were like 5th, 4th, and they were like 13th. It shows how bad we've been for so long that they was able to catch us up.
But they've got players to bring in, Dan. They've got players to bring in. That's the difference. Once they've got a squad.
Yeah,
a very expensive squad, but they've got a squad. You think about, they've got the likes of Cole Palmer, they've got Nkuku, who hasn't played a lot of the season, they've got Nicholas Jackson, they've got all of these players that, they've got a fucking unlimited amount of players, it seems. But they've got, they are still obviously building a team. There's talks about more players coming in there this summer. It'd be absolutely fucking joke. But yeah, before Jackson wasn't a donkey. Yeah, but let's see. Let's see. I want to see a good end to the season, man. We're not going to get fuck all from Man City, let's be honest, because they're going to be chasing the title.
Yes. Just give us 6 points in our next 2 games,
please. Yeah, and we'll lose the season like that. Wherever we finish, we finish. And we'll just, I don't know. We'll look forward to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. So,
take some more comments in, Dan, and we start wrapping up.
Yes, we've got some comments. ILB says, from a neutral point of view, I never understood why he wanted Moyes out. Then I started doing Paqueta watch. Obviously, he's a Man City fan, and I realised why he want Moyes gone. Standard of football is bad. Finally, they see. Expect a spanking from Chelsea. Our lads are going to be in holiday mode. Yeah, I mean, they could potentially still get Europe, which is the mad thing, because they've got that game in hand. Nick, like the coat and short. Good look, or shirt. Good look, mate. Nick, he's styling today. I'd take Sterling. No, not on them wages, Paulie. And he's been shocking. Absolutely shocking. David Moyes, substitutions of the year. No chance. It was the opposite. Pac-Man is playing himself out of a sit-air move. No way they are paying 85 mil on recent performances. I'll make you right, Keith. Apparently he did come out and say he's happy to stay, although that's what the rumors are. That now we realize it's off the cards.
I don't
Are
think
we
he's off the
actually?
cards. I think he's already been promised a move. He's played
Well,
well enough.
apparently they're looking at Bruno Guimaraes. He's got a release clause of about 100 million.
I've heard they're looking
So
at both of them. So,
yeah, that's what my mate, he said. They need both, and
De
they're
Bruyne apparently going to Saudi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him in the summer. But he could stay, he could go. We got Navadius Wilburn says, can't wait for Lopetegui, to be honest. Don't need him to be a long term. Just need him to push us forward so we are actually in an attractive proposition to pick our managers. I mean, it's not the craziest shout, but I just feel like it's the time to now have just a bit more of a positive manager, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there we go.
There we go. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. We'll be back again next week. I'll be at Chelsea this weekend, so look out for the fan cams from there. If you're new around here, subscribe. One thing left to say.
Come on, you are.